The strange world of the British royal family. Our first encounter with aristocracy occurs in the realm of fairy tales. We meet glamorous princes and wise or wicked kings in these stories, learning about life through the magical narratives of tales like Sleeping Beauty. In childhood, we witness the games of fate through the stories of kings and queens adorned with golden crowns, long before we grow old enough to understand them. As we grow older, we realize that aristocratic life has two edges. On one side is the red carpet laid out before the nobility, and on the other, the dazzling and inescapable fame that has surrounded them since birth, under the harsh and blinding flash of photographers. The palaces resemble prisons with golden bars. Yet the allure of these stories remains. Not only do members of noble families remind us of a time when we had an insatiable appetite for everything we read, but as two new novels about royal families reveal, fairy tales still have lessons to impart about aristocracy. These insights come from writers who have gained access to moments of familial and private matters that historians and biographers can only dream of accessing with permission. Just like the fairy tales we read as children, the legends of kings and queens still have much to teach us. The all-encompassing role that aristocrats play in our childhood fairy tales has, ironically and humorously, lost its function. This is what is depicted in the two novels The Teacher and The English Princess. The authors of these two books, Wendy Holden, a best-selling writer, and Claire McHugh, a debut author, have both been captivated by aristocracy since childhood. Wendy Holden grew up among her grandmother's photos of the coronation of George VI, the father of Queen Elizabeth. She says that those characters and that dazzling throne fascinated her. To her, they all resembled characters she had read about in fairy tales, and it was then that she wanted them to appear in her novel. She found her way when she became acquainted with the exciting story of Marion Crawford. Marion Crawford was a professional and socially responsible girl whose intent was to teach in impoverished neighborhoods of London. However, instead, she became the tutor to two princesses, Elizabeth, known as Lilibet, and her sister Margaret. She was with them for 17 years until her retirement in 1948, and after writing a book about her experiences and observations of the Windsor family, titled The Little Princes, she was forever estranged from the royal family. Holden believes that Crawford's revelations, by today's standards, are filled with an unexpected and impactful perspective on the Queen as a worried and vulnerable girl. When Crawfie, the name given to Crawford, entered the lives of the two sisters, they were not allowed to dirty their clothes, and their daily excursions were limited to the paths within the garden. However, Holden says Crawfie had ideas. She took the princesses out into the outside world to show them the